Hey everyone, welcome to another great podcast. I'm Melanie Johnson, and I'm here with my business partner, Jenn Foster from Elite Online Publishing. Hey, Jenn.
Hey everyone, how are you doing today?
I hope you're doing fantastic. You know, a lot of us are in that learning space, right? Where we're trying to gain knowledge. So much is coming at us all the time. This year AI came at us like, oh my gosh, another big learning curve. I think 2 years ago it was NFTs. We were all learning about that and trying to stay on top of what's going on in the world along with your regular life. So, this year, Jenn and I embraced AI along with several other things, and it can be overwhelming. I know a lot of you might be feeling overwhelmed, just like we've been feeling overwhelmed, right, Jenn?
Oh yeah, definitely. Every time I do new learning things, I write all these notes down and I have all these ideas, and then life gets in the way sometimes and nothing else happens from it.
Yeah. So we wanted to share a few things that we've learned along the way. It's the last quarter. Of course, you might be listening to this anytime. Who knows when you're going to be listening to this? So I'm going to go through some of the stuff that we learned. And then Jenn was just at a conference and she learned a bunch of stuff that I thought was really cool. So we can kind of go through that with you a little bit. Excuse me, so you can keep up. So we did AI training this year. We've implemented new things into our business. So I'm going to challenge you is to learn about AI, find some tools that you can incorporate in your life, whether you're a business owner or you're a mom or you're an entrepreneur. So figure out those things that you can use. So I think literally we have at least 6 new tools and processes that we've created because of AI in our business. So you kind of have to, like, you might be running in your business, you're sprinting, and then you have to slow down. Sometimes you actually have to stop to learn it and implement it and get it through the process, create the new process, the new structure for it to implement it in your business. So we've done that. I say, please look at that. How can you make your business better by incorporating some AI things into your processes? And then also, what are other services you can offer? Like Jenn, you and I have created I don't know how many more new services of doing content marketing, videos for our authors, more social media we're stepping into because of AI.
Yeah, more blog posts, more social media posts, there's a lot of things that tools that are out there that can help you. So like email marketing campaigns and video vlogging, video blogs. There's so many things you can do.
Yeah, so we've implemented new products and services into our company as well as new processes for AI. Then I would say the other thing that we've worked on, if you're not doing it, is it's kind of lumped in together. It's speaking, right? But you can speak on your own stage. Like we have our own platform here with our podcast. We have our own YouTube channel that we own that platform as well. So we created our own stages that we can talk on. But then, and we also have created doing webinars. So we're doing learning and teaching through webinars. So this year we've really embraced how to make webinars better. We didn't know what we were doing. The first couple of times we did it, we just threw it up there. We've crashed and burned. One time we crashed and burned so bad when we first started our business that we were like, we're never doing that again. We're never going to have another webinar again. But then, we found some resources and got some encouragement to step back into it and do it again. And now we did a whole training on webinars. So we've learned a lot about that. And it also goes in with learning your story, how to create a story that you can tell during webinars and different ways to frame things and structure things. So it's really important to be able to tell your story about your business, your origin story, your entrepreneurial story. And by the way, all of that content that you create doing that can also be used in a book. We love repurposing stuff, right, Jenn?
Yeah. So let's slow down and talk about webinars first. So I think people have to understand and remember that you have to start somewhere. And even though Melanie and I did it wrong all those times, we learned something every single time. Someone's like fell forward fast or something, and they say, So we said, we're never doing webinars again. But then everyone was like, you should do live streams. And so we're like, okay, we'll do live streams. So we got StreamYard and we were doing live streams like once a month on Fridays. And we would do the StreamYard on Facebook Live, but it was also going to YouTube and it was also going to LinkedIn. And sometimes we'd only talk 10 minutes, sometimes we'd talk 5 minutes, sometimes it was a full 15 minutes, but usually no one was there. It was only me and Melanie. So it's okay, like baby steps. And then what happens when you did those live streams is it stays on Amazon, stays on YouTube, not Amazon, stays on Facebook, stays on YouTube, stays on LinkedIn. so people can go back and watch it. And I believe we have gotten people and clients and people that have found that YouTube video and learned from it. And that's kind of the purpose of doing a webinar, is to teach people. So even though we were calling it a live stream, it was seriously just a webinar.
Yeah.
But now that we've gotten some webinar training, now we're really learning and going into a deep dive. So Melanie, tell the audience, what was the main thing you took from the webinar training? Now you went to, was it Chicago? No, you went to Milwaukee.
I went to Milwaukee, but I also went to Denver as well. And then we bought a course that went with it that all came packaged into it. A lot of what I learned was certain words, right? And how to tie the problem into the solution, right? And the training. So there should be an opening story that you tell, like kind of a heartwarming story, something that everyone can relate to. Like if you're telling a story and only 1% of the audience has done that or happened to them, like if you say, gosh, I've had trouble sleeping. Many of you probably had trouble sleeping. A lot of people can relate to having a sleepless night. But if you're picking something that's really random, I was out shooting with a specific gun or doing something, they might not, like, I've never shot a gun in my life. You have to pick something that is a story about you personally that can tie in, right, to a problem and a solution that you solve. So then they still know you're the expert. And then you teach, have that teaching of 3 things that are concrete that people are really going to learn, right? And incorporate stories into the teaching. And that's what we say when you write a book. It's really kind of the same formula. Is when you write a book, you're teaching something, but you're using stories as illustrations, like parables from the Bible, right? That's how people learn. They can really learn from the stories. They always remember the story. Sometimes they don't remember the learning, but they always remember the story. And then you want to close with a story that kind of ties everything together. And if you're doing an offer, then incorporate the offer. And, little things like the transitioning from your story to the teaching, from the teaching to the story, again, to the offer, all these little nuances of words. And Jenn, tell the story. You learned a couple specific words that I think are really important in the last training that you did last week.
Yeah. So I actually attended as a guest, a mastermind retreat with Prosper 360, and they had really amazing speakers. And one of them was Forbes Riley. And she had, I've heard her speak many times. We actually heard her speak, I think it was 5 years ago, on the 10X stage of Grant Cardone's sold out arena at the MGM in Vegas. So that was pretty cool. We heard her speak there. And then I actually saw her last year as well speak at PodFest. And her daughter was there and my daughter was there. So it was kind of fun because my daughter's our podcast producer. So it was kind of fun to get pictures with her, but she was there speaking at the event. And I just wrote down some really good nuggets. I actually heard her speak again on Tuesday. So got to see her for 3 days in a row, which was really cool. But one of the biggest things and one of the biggest takeaways was, kind of like your tagline that you're always saying over and over again, or your 59-second pitch when you're ready to tell someone something. And usually we say, hey, we're Elite Online Publishing, and we help people to write, publish, and market their book to build their business and brand, right? Which sounds really good. But the very first words that Forbes told us was never use the word help. And in that audience, we had everyone, there was probably 60 people there, had given their little 60-second pitch. And a lot of the people said, I help people do this, or I help do that. And so instead, she gave us the best golden nugget that I'm going to use from now on when I give my pitch. And she said, instead, you're supposed to say, what I'm known for is, and then I would go on to say, helping bestsellers.
You used the word helping again. You're not.
Oh yeah, I can't use helping.
I caught you.
So what I'm known for is getting authors #1 on Amazon, Wall Street Journal, and USA Today. Or what I'm known for is publishing over 3,600 books and, helping author, no, can't say help. What I'm known for is getting authors noticed or something like that, right? So you got to think about your words, because it really does change how you view someone if they say they're helping or if they are known for.
Isn't that crazy how it can just be like one little word? So change yours for your business instead of helping to that you're known for. What it does, it takes you from like, I'm a helper, like I'm alongside of you, versus you're almost like iconic. You're known. You're like, oh, you're known. It gives you like this other credibility when you're saying it that way.
We were talking before, Melanie, about how a fun article name would be, and we were talking about PR in their last episode, and we were saying a fun article name would be from pageant winner to publisher. And so that's something we could say is, what I'm known for is being a pageant winner and a publisher, right? So you could like tie in a bunch of stuff in that. So think about the accolades that you have and the things that you've accomplished and the things that you've done. Forbes Riley said that she's known for making $2.5 billion on infomercials. And so that's like, oh, wow, $2.5 billion, right? So,
and it's, it becomes very impressive more. The other thing, Jen and I have been in our meetings, we were saying this, we have meetings every Thursday, and we're like, all right, the learning has to stop. Now, I'm not saying that you stop learning, right? But we have learned so much this year. We have been to like 5 different conferences. We've had mastermind meetings. We've had all of this different stuff go on. And I feel like our brains are going to explode. So learning is great. Personal growth is great, but you have to do the implementation. Learning, implement, learning, implement. So we have now said the rest of this year, we're just implementing all the things that we learned, because otherwise Jen equated it to, people who just keep going to school and they never get a job, but they just keep going to school for years. We're like,
they have all these credentials, like they have like all these letters after their name because they have masters and bachelors and doctorates and all these things.
But they don't have a career. So we want to make sure that we're implementing. So we're looking for right now. So we're focusing on really doubling down on implementing our webinars and really fine-tuning all the things that we have for AI. And we've bought some tools we haven't even opened up yet. It's like Christmas presents under your tree, and it's February and you still haven't opened the present yet. So we want to make sure we open all those, dive deep into all those. So we're taking all this great stuff we've gotten learned and we can offer it to everybody else. And then we're also focusing on getting on stages, doing more other people's podcasts besides just our own as well. So those are some of the that we've been talking about doing.
I also wanted to talk about another woman who spoke at the conference, and she was like an AI specialist. Her name was Natalie Champlin, and she owns AI 23 Media, and I guess they have a really cool podcast, but she had such great insight on how to use AI, and really just like if you don't think you can use AI in your business, think about using it in your personal world, because it's like a personal assistant. So just think, if you had someone sitting next to you and you wanted them to get something done for you that you didn't want to do yourself, that's what you ask ChatGPT or Jasper. That's what they help you do. And there's a bunch of other tools that she mentioned that I hadn't heard of before. Let's see if I can see it on my notes here. I'll come up with it in a minute. Oh, Claude. It was a copywriter. It's called Claude, CLAUD.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
And then there was another one that was called Team Chat. So there's so many different AI tools you can use, but think about how you can use it personally. And then the other thing she talked about that I really loved, and I've been telling this, I think I've told this story like probably 3 times in the last 3 days, but it was so impactful to me. So the first part of her presentation was she brought out some waters. Now she brought out like 2 bottles of water that she bought at the airport, and one that she bought in the hotel, and then one that she bought at the gas station. But one of the cans of water that she had, I actually did not know their story, and now I still have to go look it up. But one of the cans of water she had is called Liquid Death. And I've seen those in the grocery store. And I thought, oh, that's an energy drink. Yeah, I'm like, that's an energy drink. I'm not going to buy that. It has caffeine. Like when I saw the package, that's what I thought. And she explained to us that Liquid Death is just water, and they have sparkling water or regular water. And she explained how, she could pay $6 at the airport or at the hotel, but if she goes to the convenience store, it might be $2 or $3. And I was just at a restaurant last night getting pizza, and they were selling it for $3. And I thought this whole time that it was an energy drink. And then she told us the story about how it was developed. And so now I need to go and really research if that's really, what exactly happened. But basically, people wanted something cool to drink their water in. And so this company developed, and they've sold millions and millions of dollars worth of water now, just because of their packaging and branding. So then she got into branding and taught us branding. But I just love that story, because I was like, it's kind of like bottling air, like on the Lorax movie. Like they're like, hey, we could just can water and sell it and make millions of dollars. So I thought that was really cool.
It's
If
just
you
innovation.
have the,
So
yeah,
so it's
yeah,
innovation, taking something, I mean, they didn't invent water or bottled water, right? They innovated it with the branding and packaging. And that's another thing that we've worked on too. And we're gonna, I want to tell you to embrace your personal brand, work on your branding. We just went through a bunch of people's LinkedIn with them, and most of them were pretty disappointing. I'm like, you guys, this is your personal brand. You don't have a great banner there. It doesn't even update what you're doing right now. So go through your personal brand and do an inventory. It's kind of like cleaning out your closet, right? And organizing it and using all that real estate that is free. All the real estate on LinkedIn is free. All the real estate on Instagram is free. So go there and really make your, liquid death water and brand yourself and see the difference that you'll have by just doing that and integrating that, because people do check you out. I know we do. When someone comes to us, that's the first thing I do. When they hit that author submission form, I'm checking them out. What do they do? Where do they hang out? Who are their people? What does their brand look like? How can I help them? So it really says something about you, that personal brand. That's a good story, Jenn.
yeah, I think it is important to have the right branding and really just the right message. So, I mean, I'm glad that I found out it was just water because I thought it was an energy drink, but now it makes sense to me. All the packaging and the cans and all that, and think they made millions of dollars and I hadn't bought one yet. So there you don't need everyone.
Now they're gonna make billions of dollars because now you're buying them.
Yeah. But that's kind of goes with your niche, right? So they made their brand for specific people, right? People who want to drink water and look cool. People who want to drink water that looks like they're drinking an energy drink, right? So
exactly. Yeah. And it just has something. There's a coffee that's like that too. There's like a death coffee or some kind of coffee, and it's like the most caffeinated coffee out there. My son who gets the water gets that coffee, the like extreme caffeine. I'm like, did you have a heart attack? Like, oh my gosh, that could be too much caffeine and one thing. So think about your personal brand, do that inventory. And gosh, again, there's so many AI tools that can help you with that, to take a look at, taglines that you can make for your company, blog posts you can write for your company, all kinds of great things, tools you can use to do that. ChatGPT, of course, and Jasper that Jenn mentioned, those are both really great tools that I would start with so you're not overwhelmed. We have a lot of tools that we have on our list that have become our favorites, probably 50, but we're not going to overwhelm you with that, especially if you're baby to just starting. So I would really just monkey around with ChatGPT. Some of my tips for that are, it's not going to get it right the first time, maybe not even the third time. And it's all about the quality of the question and re-asking the question in different ways with different, words and details to get that right answer that you're looking for.
Yeah. And I didn't talk to Melanie about this beforehand, but if any of you want to get our AI, we call it our AI cheat sheet, but really it's our favorite tools for AI. Then you can just message us on our website, just click the contact us form and give us a message and say you'd like the AI sheet, and I'll send it over to you. And then we will also add you to our newsletter so you can get all of our updates.
That sounds great. So think about what you're going to do this coming year, what your goals are. It's that time of year to start planning for 2024. One of my tips for 2024 that I use today is start to fill your calendar now for next year. So that way you hit the ground running. You already have appointments on your calendar and you're ready to go and start the year with momentum. I already have my first one for 2024 that I'm going to be on a podcast. So there you go. So get out there and get that calendar filled and set your goals and your intentions and then the action items to get there. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and to share it with your friends. And we hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, and just go to eliteonlinepublishing.com to find a contact form. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.